waste another one. Oh, darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, my sleeper awake. Oh, let the future escape. Oh, my sleeper awake. Oh, let the future escape. Shake the ground. Oh, it's like this. It will fill the air around. Oh, my sleeper awake. Oh, let the future escape. Oh, my sleeper awake. Oh, let the future escape.
Hello and welcome to the FIFAe World Cup 2024 featuring Football Manager. It is day one. We're coming at you live from Liverpool, this football mad city. We're in the ACC Arena and I am ready to show you our lovely player area. This is the Group A player area. We're going to be hearing from the managers of Group A who are playing as Yokohama F. Marinos from the J-League very shortly indeed, but they've been playing in these booths all day long, 3 incredibly stressful sessions of Football Manager to try and be the best managers they can be for their respective nations, ultimately with a view to try and become the first ever FIFAe World Cup Football Manager champion. Okay, so we're now making our way to the press conference area, which is a really nice addition to our show here, because we get to grill the managers. But first of all, I'm going to grill some of our experts here. We have Benji, we have Kev. Day one is pretty much complete in terms of gameplay, or almost complete. What have you made of it?
We've seen a change of atmosphere. Suddenly, it means something. And you can see the reactions, sometimes an overreaction, sometimes an underreaction. Some managers, in my opinion, not panicking enough, and some are in cruise control. But again, a few more days to go, everything can change. Yeah,
Kev, how was the mood change today? Because yesterday was literally pre-season. Today, and we had a few competitive games, but today it's really we're in a full season's action. And what have we learned?
We've learned that 9 hours is some serious time pressure because there has been some chaos, and there have been some players playing a lot faster than I think they would have wanted to if they were sat there playing at home. Because there's been some rushed decisions and some fast games, and it's having an impact on what they're doing and the decisions they're making, which is fun.
Maybe some mistakes, some regrets already?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to find out. So we get to talk to the managers in a second, but Group A is the group we're going to speak to first. We're going to have a look at the standings. This is the first time we've seen the actual points scoring, and you can see it's a sizable lead, would you say, after one season for Germany at the top with Sven?
Yeah, they've been my favourites for a while, and that's why. Look at that. That's a very impressive lead. Again, it's pretty close still. It looks like there's quite a big gap between bottom and first, but everything can change. Those league titles, those Champions League titles can change a lot, and they've still got 2 seasons to prove themselves.
This is it, right? Only one season of 3 played, but Saudi Arabia sitting bottom right now, propping up the rest of Group A. Kev, can they still get back in there?
It's a lot to make up when you consider how many points you get for different league positions and qualifying through different rounds of tournaments, because they're going to need not just Germany, but pretty much everybody above them to make some pretty big mistakes and have some poor results in these second 2 seasons for them to be able to catch up. It's a big gap.
Yeah, not quite a 4-way race just yet, but obviously it's getting that way if it continues in that fashion. Of course, what we did see there is there has been no sackings, and I think Saudi Arabia were in the kind of race for that after yesterday's start, weren't they? But they're still in a job. This is good news.
It's good news for now, but again, you have another season like that, you never know. But again, they won the league title, which is obviously crucial.
Yep.
That'll keep you in the job. Anything less than that, and they're going to be in peril.
Okay, should we talk to the managers?
Let's talk to the managers.
Right, let's please join me in welcoming our Group A managers. Here we go. We do have some assistant managers once again, but leading the line there is Mats from Norway. We have Mohamed from Saudi Arabia there, of course. We have the assistant manager, Emre, from Turkey. We have Mikhail from Belgium and Terry from Germany, also assistant managers. So we're going to start with a question for Turkey, which is going to be done with my friend George here. He's going to translate it. So Turkey, really strong season. Actually only lost 1 game for the entire season, which is super impressive. So close to being invincible. Having said that, though, not top of the league. So what have Turkey got to do to get top spot?
Tüm sezon boyunca sadece bir maç kaybettiniz. Yani çok iyi sezon oynadınız. Buna rağmen zirvede değilseniz bu nasıl bir duygu ve genel olarak neleri değiştirmeniz lazım?
Bu sezon tüm kupaları kazandık. Sadece derbiden dolayı puan kaybımız var. Bundan dolayı gerideyiz. Değişiklik olarak daha iyi bir kadro kurduk. Önümüzdeki sezon daha da iyi olacağız.
Yeah, they feel pretty confident. They played a really good season. They only lost points because of their second derby match. So yeah, they feel pretty good. But yeah, now they built an even stronger team for the next season, and they feel good for the next season.
Okay, fantastic stuff. All right, I'm going to hand it over to the floor now for some more questions. Who would like to kick things off? Will Brazier's got a question for us.
Question to Mohamed, my friend. We've spent the day together. There's been highs, lows. Do you feel disrespected? You've got the likes of Kevin, Benji here writing you off a little bit, but you're still fighting. You got the league title. 2 days left. Can you still do it?
Yes, of course, we can still do it. We can still win. It's not disrespect, but he's looking at the numbers, so it's obvious analysis. But we are still there. We can still win this.
Next question. Who would like to ask a question for our panel? Anyone? Benji, you got a question for us? Kev's got one for us.
Yeah, this one's for Norway, who I think pulled off one of the biggest transfer coups I think we've seen in the entire tournament so far, signing a free transfer goalkeeper. If I'm
yes, we did indeed.
Do you want to talk us through how you managed to do that? Because I think just about everybody at the tournament had their eye on David De Gea, and you've managed to bring him to the J League.
Yeah, we are good at convincing, you know. We had a lot of injuries on key players, including our goalkeeper, and we had to do something. So we saw David De Gea on free transfer, brought him on test play. Sorry for the poor English there. And we invited him 3 times, and then the last time he agreed to sign a contract.
Benji's got a question. Maybe if you could stand up as well, please.
Happy to. We spoke to Spain yesterday, very confident, rightly so. You've proved it today. How do you avoid the overconfidence, though, coming in now? Like, you've got to stay on a level playing field, surely. Joe.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think you have to respect the game, and if you go out early in the cup, next season we'll drop, I think, about 22 points. And if you look at the table, this is exactly the number of points that is between us and Saudi Arabia. So it's a lot of football to be played still. And so, yeah, I think we have to be composed. We have to respect the game and continue with the work we've put in this season. And, yeah, do it again next and the next. And then hopefully we'll be still at the top after season 3.
Jack's got a question for us next, I believe.
Yes, this is a question for Mats. I spoke to you before pre-season. You told me that you're not a content creator, you're a real football manager. How does it feel being 3rd place right now? Are you still confident?
So I think, looking at the big picture, we're playing really well. The last league game we won 10-0, proving that we did some good moves in transfer window and tactics is working. So I'm still confident. There's a lot of football to be played. Our team is super strong, and Germany has played perfectly so far, racking up all possible points. But we will be right behind whenever they get under pressure.
Amenya.
Yeah, this is a question for Saudi. You may remember me from yesterday. I'm the brother of Brazilian striker. You said yesterday if he could finish his dinner, maybe you'd be doing better. Well, you've sold him, and looking at the table, you're dead last. So who will you blame now?
Okay, all right. After I put in the pressure on him, he scored 9 goals in 10 games. So the pressure is obviously working. But then I sold him. Sold him and brought in 2 other strikers. And I won the league. We won the challenge of the day. We won 2 supers. So we're doing well. Our team is doing better than yesterday and the day before. And we have some extra money now. We can buy more players and win all possible titles.
No problem.
Mikhail, I've got a question for you. Obviously, sitting fourth right now, a bit of a gap between yourself and top spot. How different is it playing Football Manager in this situation when you're thinking not just about keeping your job and winning things, but actually trying to catch people up on point scoring? It's a whole different thing to think about, right?
Yeah, you know, if you're losing a semi-final, you already feel the pressure that you need to make up some points. So you're going to make some risk in some other games just to try and make the challenge of the day or any other challenge just to catch up. And maybe sometimes we make other decisions just based on that.
Do you think that going into season 2 tomorrow, you already need to think about catching them up, or are you still focusing on your game style and your managerial performance?
I think we worked on our tactic for the whole season and now everything is working, but we already have a game plan on how we have to catch them up, and I think the Asian Champions League is a big goal in that, and I think we need to win it to be able to catch up on everyone.
Another question over here, please. Yeah, in the third row, yourself there. Need a microphone. We're just going to get one to you now. Here it comes. You've got 2.
I got a question for Germany. You've played an almost perfect season today. Does this increase or decrease pressure for tomorrow?
It takes a lot of pressure from us because naturally when you go in such a tournament you want to do well, and I think we proved ourselves that we can compete on this level, and as my colleague said, we are now in their brains and in their decision making, and to be fair, he looks a bit stressed. I think you should get a massage.
Tonight, hopefully.
Okay.
My manager said he was going to do it, so.
Whoa.
Yes, please, second row.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations on your efforts today. I have a question for the entire panel, maybe with the exception of Turkey due to the language barriers. What's been your biggest challenge in managing in the J League?
I can go first. The biggest challenge is the fact that you can only start with 5 foreign players every season or every game. So you need to build your squad around local players. And for me as a Norwegian, I'm not very familiar with the Japanese league. But we are finding some good talent together with our Discord and together with our Twitch. So yeah, we're doing well. We won the treble, so not too challenging.
We've got a question on... Oh, sorry, you're going to carry on answering. Correct, please do.
The struggle for us, or the challenge, isn't 5 foreigners. Actually, it was playing every 2 or 3 days. I know this isn't a big excuse, but they play a lot of games back to back. So that was a big challenge for us.
I think for us it was a challenge of learning all the names, all the players and their position, because we're not that familiar with the competition and with the team. So we had some challenge in remembering which player was playing on what position, and I think eventually it worked out, but that was the hardest challenge.
We are still waiting for the challenge in Japan.
Good answer. We've got a question on the back row. Yes, please.
Hello. This is a question for everyone. I wanted to ask, with how long you've all been playing today, and it's been long hours, how are you able to, I guess, sustain energy playing, Football Manager? You can start with you.
So with me, We are drinking a lot of coffee, a lot of Powerade, working well, and we are doing one of our favorite things in life, which is to play Football Manager. So I used to play 15, 16, 17 hours in one go at home, so 9 hours is easy.
Yeah, same thing for me or for us. We are used to play 8 hours per day, and sometimes when we get to the break, we were like, nah, we want to continue. So it's pretty easy for us, yeah, no worries.
I think there's some key moments in the competition where you're looking forward to, and that gives you energy because you know the big games are coming up and you can score points. And I think that gives us energy. And we also take some extra breaks to just go and take some fresh air because we're inside for a long time. And with the fresh air, we can think a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I think for us it's a question of teamwork. So within the manager team and as well with the community, you are interacting all the time, and so that you give energy, you receive energy, and that gets you through the day. So shout out to all the fans in Germany who are following along, and yeah.
I've got a follow-up question for Germany, actually. Some really astute signings and good purchases have helped you do what you've done. Talk to me about Jackson Irvin's performance. I believe there's rumours, actually, that he might even get the armband next year. Can you clarify this?
Yes. He's learning Japanese right now. As soon as he is capable, he will get the armband. And he introduced himself with a hat-trick as a number 6 in the derby against Yokohama. So secured 5 points immediately when he arrived at our club. And this is the type of player we need at the club, and we need to compete in the Champions League. So a big game player, and I'm sure you all will hear more of him the coming seasons.
Okay, we'll watch this space. And we're actually going to wrap up this particular press conference here, so we can say a big thank you to our Group A managers. Give them a round of applause, guys, for answering the questions. And Will's going to join me here just to unpack what we just saw from Group A. What are you thinking?
Mate, it's been one of the best days of my life. Being in that booth with Saudi Arabia where Mohamed won the league, it's memories of a lifetime. I think it was absolutely fantastic for them. People are writing them off, but they're still fighting at the bottom of the league. And Turkey, we speak about the challenge. They won everything, but they drew a derby, so they didn't get those 5 points for the challenge. It's those little intricate points that can change everything in that. So it's been so exciting.
Yeah, it's an extra level on top of the normal Football Manager challenge, isn't it? Think about these specific games, which, I mean, they've been built for a reason, these challenges. Those derbies are important games against their rivals, for the fans, for the board, everything. But it feels quite harsh that they're sitting in second right now. I mean, they could do the same thing 3 years in a row and not top the group.
Turkey lost one game all season, and they still aren't top of this group. These are the best players in the world, and that sort of thing is showing it right now.
I know you're developing a little bit of a connection with the Saudi guys, but do you really believe they can top this group still?
I believe on Sunday they will lift the trophy. No, I mean, it's a big ask, but I'm backing the boys. I love an underdog, and they're still fighting, and it's the courage that they're showing that I'm absolutely loving.
Well, this is a reminder of the standings. There's that 22-point gap between top and bottom place right now, but lots of points available. Also, different challenges every day, right? Different things to deal with. How do you think that's going to affect things?
Yeah, I think the one today is revolving around assists, and obviously with the team that F Marinos are, they're getting a lot of goals, a lot of action, so that one should be easily accomplished. But you look around the other groups as well, there's some big challenges that need to be done. But when it comes to this day, like we said, like Turkey, one draw and it's cost them 5 points and they're sitting here second. But I really like the characters coming out in there. We've been meeting people. Germany at the end, stone-faced killers. They're absolutely giving it big guns. So we're loving the characters and we're loving it all.
Look at this win rate you can see on the screen right now. A bit further statistics for you guys. 65% win rate. That's for Saudi Arabia there at the bottom of the group. But Germany still with a higher win rate, 92.2. So it kind of is relative to the points they're scoring.
But yeah, it is as well. But like Kev's been saying all day, like no matter where you finish, you still get those points and time of the day. So we've been looking at Germany, but they finished their season early. They've been so chilled out, preparing for the next season. Whereas the chaos of the Saudi Arabia guys going down to the last game of the season to win the league title. Sure, it was great, but then they're losing out on preparation time as well.
Yeah, big transfer window ahead for the Saudi guys if they can get back in this. But I'm going to hand over to our good friend Chelsea Kabakis now. He's going to show you a little bit more of this wonderful arena we have here.
So much fire going on. Thanks, Spence. I'm here with Statman Dave, and we're here in the Brighton corner where there's been chaos, highs, lows, some drama, but I'm not gonna tell everyone what's been going on. I'm gonna leave that to you, the expert.
Well, first and foremost, I've got to say this group has been fire. The lowest win percentage at the tournament so far on average. Because of the competition, Brighton are facing the likes of Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. The list goes on. Newcastle United, so it's been very hard for the players today, and they have done exceptionally well. One of the sides finished 4th in the Premier League.
Now, I have to take it to the drama because, I have to spoil it, right? The transfer market. We saw some unusual movements. Take me through that.
So I think a lot of the managers said yesterday they want a central midfielder. We saw one of the first moves, Kefren Turam, signed for around 120 million. That's a lot of money, but that's been put over instalments. Playing the game, should we say?
Playing the game. If you were in their shoes, what would you do? Would you get a young talent or an experienced?
I think for me, it's all about that young talent. It's all about getting that guy, the next big thing, the wonder kid. That is Football Manager. So I'm always going for the youngster, and it could be a 20-year-old. But you need to teach them how to play, you need to score goals, and then you've got a superstar in your hands.
Who's your favorite so far from this group?
To be fair, I like a lot of the teams. The Netherlands have got
You
have
have
got some
to pick
good.
one stat, man, Dave.
Okay, we're going to go with the Netherlands. The Netherlands. They've done some good business already in the transfer market. They've been confident. They got to a big European final as well. Lost to Liverpool. So there's a big sort of motion going forward.
All right. Well, we're going to hear a little bit more about that in this conference. Back to you, Spencer.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. So here is the Group B standings. Brighton and Hove Albion is the challenge, of course, and what a challenge it's been. But the Dutch leading the way. We've obviously got Spain at the bottom of that league table. Will's looking at me open-mouthed here. He's like, what am I seeing? So we think they're still playing. So I think there's still some points to add to that. It would be amazing if they weren't sacked on a 4-point performance, wouldn't it, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely open-mouthed here looking at that table, but there is still stuff to play. And again, we talk about everything coming down to moments. I was in the South Africa booth. They could have won the Premier League on the last day and the first season with Brighton. They were so cool, calm and composed. I'd have been tearing my clothes off in my bedroom, let alone in the world stage, trying to win the Premier League. They lost out to Liverpool, but came second, the best performing team in the Premier Division, won the Carabao Cup, but they're not even top of the group.
Yeah, this is where it's really interesting, this challenge, because there's such a big differential, like you say, between what could be a good season and a bad season. You know, some of these teams, a bad season is finishing second. For Brighton, a bad season is obviously probably not qualifying for any sort of European competition, but if you've got competitors next to you finishing, or nearly winning the league, it's going to be hard to climb that gap day 2, day 3.
Yeah, and we speak about all the money that Brighton have to spend, but I'll go back to South Africa. They had a real big injury with Evan Ferguson, who was leading the line for them. Who steps up? Danny Welbeck. They've not spent big money in that department. Thuram, they have done. I mean, we can get into that, and I think we will do later on with how that money's being spent. But people like that, using your squad rotation to get those moments and get to the last day of the season with Brighton to win the Premier League, it's fairy tale stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's almost Leicester-like, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely stuff.
Really good stuff. Right, we're going to meet our managers now. We're going to talk to them and grill them. Instalments is going to come up, I'm pretty sure. But here we go. Group B managers, please join us on the stage. So we've got 2 managers, 3 assistant managers joining us here. Enzo Benzo of South Africa leading the line. We've got Jay from South Korea, of course. We have Renzo, assistant manager for Netherlands. We have Manuel of Spain and Francisco of Portugal. So, who would like to... I think Zealand looks quite keen to ask a question. You go first, sir.
This is for South Korea. We've been a lot of speculation about where your assistant manager, Hwang's been the entire day. The leading theory is that he was stuck in an elevator. Would you care to clarify where your assistant has been?
Okay. It's not that long story, but my assistant, he is a kind of influencer. So he's also a YouTuber. So he went to Wales right now to film another video. To Swansea City, because he went there to meet a real player. So I understand his business. So I really kind of needed him, but today I was like the business guy in this stage. I need to talk to my viewer, and I need to play the game, and I need to. Nobody can go wash restroom instead of me for me. So. So it was a pretty tough day, but so I'm satisfied with my points actually, because it could be lower than that. So it was a tough day anyway.
Are you going to fire your assistant manager for this?
We gotta talk. I'm gonna call him to my office.
Benji's got a question, I think.
Question for Enzo. We didn't hear from you guys yesterday. We saw you playing. You had a really good day. Did you expect to have such a good day?
I think coming into it, we thought maybe top 4, and that was being hopeful. And then as things progressed, we realized, we could actually do this. We got to December time, and we thought, there's potential, yeah. We could maybe win the league, but that's, out of reach. Yeah. We had a rough January. It was heartbreaking, actually. I was sitting on my phone in one of the breaks, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to play this. And then after January, things just clicked. And Danny Welbeck, as was mentioned earlier, my savior, that guy, he was banging hat tricks left, right, and center. And I think at the end we were disappointed, but looking back at it, we're really happy. And I think tomorrow's going to be a good day. We have a good place to start from again.
Do you expect your assistant to be here for the rest of the tournament, or have they got a trip to Cardiff booked at any point?
He's here, and he's very helpful. He's been great. I don't know about South Korea, but yeah, South Africa has been great.
We've got a question from the middle row here, please.
A question for the Dutch manager. Top of the group, had a really good first day. What's the plan tonight? Is it celebrating on the town or more homework to do?
We're heading back to Amsterdam, actually. So, obviously, we're still looking into some stuff because I think everybody's had the discomfort of having so many games today and not even getting to the stage where originally it was planned, which was the 5th of August. And I think we finished the season first, and even we didn't manage to get to the 5th of August. So, lots of stuff to still be talking about together on what we're going to do to prepare well for next season.
Awesome. See you in Pop World.
Amsterdam or no? Kev's got a question.
This one's for Spain. We obviously sat here last night and you were very confident, very calm, very happy about how things were going. You seem to be in single digits for points on that league table. I just wondered if you had any thoughts on where the day had gone wrong.
We are really disappointed about the day. We made terrible mistakes. We lost half of the first 12 matches Premier League. It was so bad. But at the end of the day, we could find our way to reach positions up in the Premier League. We almost got to the final of the UEFA Europa League. Liverpool beats us in penalties. And also we were at the final of the Carabao Cup. So I don't think we are not lost yet. We have 2 days more. Maybe if we get 10 or 15 points more than our rivals, we will be there on the battle again.
Any other questions? We have one on the fourth row. Community question, I believe.
Yeah, we have a community question from G. Moser from Instagram for South Korea. You mentioned at the beginning of the competition that the South Korean community should share tactics with you. Can you explain us if they have been a help to you so far?
Sorry, can you tell me again that question?
Yeah, the South Korean community, you've mentioned at the beginning of the competition that they should share tactics with you.
Yeah.
Can you explain us if it has been a help so far to you throughout the competition?
It has been helpful. So before the lunchtime, I was I lost 3 games like that. So I tried to debate it with my assistant, but I don't know where he gone. So there's the only place I need to there's the viewers are the only people that I can talk with it. So I tried. They were my assistant for today.
Yeah, would you say your community is basically more useful than your assistant manager?
Is he watching now? Okay.
Manuel, I've got some good news for you. In the time we've been in this press conference, you've had a massive points upgrade. You've gone from 4 points to 67 points. Obviously, you knew you wouldn't be sitting on 4 points. It gives us a bit of a better picture at home as well, the state of your season. I think we're still expecting South Korea's points to go up as well. But it's a bit closer than it looked. But as the guys mentioned, you did start very well yesterday. And do you think you can still win this group?
Yes, of course. As I said, if we tomorrow finish with 10 or 15 more points than our rivals, we will be really near each other. So we have opportunities, we have options yet. So we just need to find the guys that play the way we want to play, and then start again.
Would the critics not say that you need to work better with the players you inherited rather than having to sign new players?
We have signed around 8 new players from now. I'm really disappointed with some stars of the team. Mitoma has made a terrible season. A player like him has to be the one that take care of all the partners. And he just made a terrible season. Also with Verbruggen, we still are confident in him. We think that the Dutch player is going to make a better season next time. So it's up to him. I said that yesterday. It's up to them. The ones that doesn't prove they could be with us, they're going to leave.
So if you received an offer from Mitoma, would you be interested? What sort of price would you want to have for him?
For Mitoma?
Yeah.
I think we will speak from 80. From 80.
After a terrible season.
You are not
million.
selling well.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Amenya's got a question, I think.
I was actually the match day steward for the semi-final against Liverpool. Obviously, I was there in the stadium with you. I was hoping you guys won. But unfortunately, one of your players, when you missed the last penalty, hit me in the head. So I'd like to know, are you going to be allocating any time towards practicing penalties during the next season?
Yes. We have to practice a lot of penalties. We have to practice to defend also the how I said set pieces because we have I think almost 30 goals have come from set pieces. So that's our mistake. That's our fault. We have to work in that. But if we make 20 clear opportunities to score and we just make 1 goal, what can I do?
I think you can go to the guy at Arsenal. They've got a very good set-piece coach. So,
Will Brazier.
And obviously, getting to the last day of the season, nearly winning the league. Obviously, it's a fantastic achievement. But is there some sort of regret that you didn't get that over the line when you look at the league table tonight?
Definitely. I think in the moment it was. We didn't really know what to experience because if you'd offered us, I think, top 4 at the beginning of the day, we'd say, yes, please, thank you very much. We'll come again tomorrow. Same thing, top 4. But once we got there, I mean, the final day was horrible. We took the lead and we thought, this is it. And then Liverpool took the lead and then added more and more. And then we conceded 2 and everything just fell apart. But yeah, I think all in all, it's one of those things that looking back, you'll go, it was a really good thing that we did this, but I wish we actually won it.
Enzo, another question for you from me. How do you feel about the people saying that you're kind of deviating from the model that's been so successful for Brighton, spending over 100 million for a player in Thuram, Kefren Thuram, and adding to that, the instalments, the way that you've structured this deal? Some would say financially irresponsible because you're not going to potentially be manager in 3 years. I mean, you're welcome to continue to save in your own time, of course, but are you going to? Because people want to know.
On my way back home, I'll be continuing the save. And I'll do my utmost ability to recover a lot of the funds that I spent on him. He's a great player, worth his value. I think it was 120 that we spent. And tomorrow we'll probably look to spend close to 400, maybe 500 mil.
How much in this window, though? Will that
maybe about
out?
5 mil, maybe 20, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Because obviously Brighton known for finding gems, not a lot of money spending on them and then selling them maybe for those sorts of figures. Do you think that the fans are going to be happy with this change of identity?
I mean, Have they ever finished second before?
Touche. Touche. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Yes, Zealand.
I just have one for Portugal. Just wanted to shine a light on, at the end of yesterday, you guys were probably as down as any team in this tournament. But over the course of today, after losing every game yesterday, you seemed you climbed the league table consistently the whole day. What was the mindset of the team to turn that around and get a top four?
We actually saw that our midfield was not working that well, and we changed that. And we knew that working on Premier League, this is it. We have it's like a roller coaster, you know, and you have some ups and downs. And fortunately for us, we had that down on the beginning of the season. I really hoped that I didn't have that down, but we have to look on a positive way. So we actually went good after that, besides Carabao Cup. But I don't want to talk about it. If you want, you have to ask again.
We have got some updated standings to show you guys now. I know they've been updating them as we've been going, but this gives you a bit of a better picture of how things stand in Group B. So it's actually a lot closer than it looked at first. 65 points at the bottom, 81 at the top, so 16-point gap. So all to play for. But I'm going to let our managers and assistant managers from Group B leave now. So thank you very much for your time, guys. Best of luck tomorrow. Okay, we're going to have some more chat here after that Group B press conference. What did you make of it?
400 million he's going to spend, is he?
Yeah.
Where's he getting the money from?
Well,
this is very you, isn't it?
He's qualified for the Champions League. That's where he's getting the money from.
400?
Yeah. If you qualify for the Champions League's worth, what, 100 million?
Well, the reality is he's not going to be spending that all this window, is he? And how do we feel about that? Obviously, gamesmanship versus clever. Is it clever or do we not like it?
I don't like it.
Right.
I think it destroys the club that he's managing to a degree of... He says he's going to manage afterwards. He doesn't care about afterwards.
Yeah, it's a clever answer, wasn't it?
That's lip service.
Yeah.
And I'm not having it. And I've played with you before. It's very you, isn't it?
I mean, why should he care? He's the first team football manager, not the finance director. It's not his money. He's there to get results on the pitch, and he's finished second in the Premier League. So it worked.
Yeah, but you say this like it's something that every manager's now going to do. Everyone's going to follow this model. It's going to ruin the integrity of that league. And
financial fair play. How do we feel about financial fair play?
Financial fair play is modelled in the game. If they fall foul of it, they'll be punished. They'll be banned from Europe. They'll potentially have transfer embargoes.
Within these 3 years, though, they're playing a 3-day, 3-year challenge here. It's clever. It's very clever. I'll give him that.
He's there to get the results in the short term. He's got 3 years and been told to win as much as he can win. Why would you not buy the best players to allow you to do that? He's working within the confines of the budgets that he's been given. It's up to the board to step in and say, no, you can't do that. And they didn't.
If you don't know, these deals have been structured, I'm being told, over 9 years of instalments. Okay,
Yeah.
so what sort of
Imagine
shape
if
Brighton
that
will be in?
happened in real life. All people would
But
be so upset.
it adds a lot of pressure. If you're going to do this, if this is the style you're going to play, he's got to win. Because if you're going to spend that money, the other guys haven't done this. Whether this now changes the mentality of not just these managers, by the way, all of the managers in the competition to go, do you know what? Yeah, and we've seen it, by the way. In other groups, the same player has gone for a very hefty amount. I think it could be cheating.
Is there another side to this story, which is, okay, it's finished second this year, fantastic. What if it goes wrong next year? What if it gets a couple injuries, knocked out some competitions, falls down the table? Are the board going to take into consideration the amount of money he's spent?
But not just that, the position he's finished in the league. He's set that bar for himself. He needs to go and qualify for the Champions League again next year because he's spending Champions League money, but he's giving himself the best opportunity to do it by building a squad of Champions League quality players.
How much would you spend? If you were in this position and you've been in this position, you just go the whole price, wouldn't you?
I genuinely would spend as little as possible up front, put as much as I could on instalments. Frankly, I'm surprised that he didn't already do 500 million. You could do £1 billion transfer window if you really wanted to structure it and spread it out. And especially with the saleable assets Brighton have got, you could comfortably spend £1 billion over the course of these 3 years.
Well, a man in that shirt would have those opinions. Anyway.
A word to the South Korea situation. Jay, he's great value up there. I really enjoy his answers. But his assistant manager's gone AWOL. This is the problem, though. He needs to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's worrying. I mean...
I would have gone to the toilet for it. He said he had no one to go to the restroom for him. I'd have done that. No problem at all. He just had to ask.
And you'd have paid it instalments. You'd have done Weez on a sort of monthly basis, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have gone the whole time.
There's no other way.
But seriously, though, he's got a job, he's got other opportunities with a rival British club. dare I say, in Swansea. But yeah, I mean, it's all fun and games right now. But if he ends up not winning the group, not going through, will he be looking to his assistant?
I don't think he'll get the invite back next year. I think that's the worry for him. But look, if it still works for them, then they'll be happy. But again, I'd quite like to. I like the idea of him getting a replacement in now. He comes back. He goes to sit in his chair. There's already somebody there. I think that'd be quite nice.
Okay, right. Should we move on to Group C
Let's
now?
move on.
Sporting Club de Portugal is, of course, the challenge here for our Five Nations, and this is the way things are looking. A very impressive run from Indonesia, who we didn't even see yesterday. It kind of came out of nowhere. 107 points. I know the points can't really be compared group to group because there's different challenges. I mean, they can in a way, but a pretty big gap between top and bottom here.
Yeah, the Indonesians have come in. They've done the quadruple. Nobody else today has done that. They've come in. They've absolutely smashed it. I think Jack, Florian, and Patrick all thought they were in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, we've seen a quadruple, which is unprecedented.
Pretty much the perfect season, Kev.
Yeah, and we talked about this for this group, that it would be a group where you'd be expected to win the league, and it would all come down to what you could do in Europe. So we've had someone go out and win a European competition. You can see the difference that it's made. It's not going to be enough just to win the league and get to a quarter-final and be like, that's a good season. Because that is a good season for Sporting.
Yes.
But you've got someone who's done a much better one, and now they've got a massive lead.
Have they essentially put it in their hands now? I mean, 3 quadruples in a row would be pretty hard to do. But if they can maintain that sort of success, maybe even drop off a little bit, it's theirs.
It's not even that they'd have to do 3 in a row. Someone else now needs to go and do one.
Yeah.
Just to match what they've done that season. And that's a tall order.
But it can be a cruel game at times, as can real football management, a bad injury, a few losses here and there. Still haven't seen a sacking. Are we expecting one tomorrow?
I think it's probably less likely now than it was yesterday. At this
Yeah,
time.
we were talking this afternoon. I think if we were going to, the most likely day to see a sacking was today. People are going to be starting to build their own teams. If someone gets sacked now, they have no excuses because this is the team they've built with their transfers. Getting sacked when it was when they weren't even allowed to do transfers would have been a different thing. But I'd be surprised if we saw a sacking from this point.
These win rates very interesting here because look at the difference or the closeness, if you like, between certainly the top 4. Yet it's about winning the right games at the right time, isn't it? You can drop points in league games that aren't going to stop you winning the league. You don't want to be dropping them when you're playing in cup finals, which is obviously what's happened or earlier in the tournaments for some of these guys. But that win rate alone makes it look like there's not so big a gap.
No, but again, it's about team management. It's about knowing when to rest players, knowing when to improve key players, make sure they're in the right games at the right time. And obviously Indonesia did that better than anybody else.
He's actually 4th in win rate, the Indonesian manager.
Yeah.
So, again, win at the right time. So should we hear from our managers? Should we meet them?
Come on.
Okay, Group C managers, please join us in our press conference area. We have our French manager, Florian, leading the line here. We, of course, have managers from across the globe. We've got our assistant manager, of course, Tom, representing England. Mikhail from Poland, also assistant manager. We have Adit from India. And we have, of course, our very in-demand Indonesian manager, or assistant manager, Budi, who we're going to not got a translator for this one. So I'm going to ask one question here, and then we're going to lead with the other ones. But can you talk to us about your time here? Have you enjoyed it so far? You're top of the group.
Yeah, we very enjoy in this tournament. Yeah, we're playing a lot of games, and yeah, we're just enjoying.
Fantastic. Okay. Any other questions for our guys here, Kevin?
Yeah, I'd like to come to Indonesia as well, and just wondered. Obviously, you've absolutely dominated. What formation have you been using to do that?
Yeah, basically we play gegen pressing philosophy, 4-2-3-1, and we think the most important is opposite instruction. You need to tackling, marking their enemy players. Yeah, that's it.
Will Brazier.
Question to Poland. There was a lot of noise coming from the booth today. I think you were one of the loudest in the room. It was echo reverberating all around. But that noise seemed to die down a little bit as the sort of achievements came out from other managers. What's going on? Are you still confident of sort of making a loud noise tomorrow?
Good evening. Yeah, we were loud. We got some pretty good results. We managed to secure a few big comebacks. Obviously emotional moments for us. And yeah, we are always emotional. We take this very seriously, and we hope to continue as we did today.
I've got a question here for France. We're going to use a translator for this one. First of all, I've got to clear something up which is that yesterday I may have misheard the French answer when I thought they said that they hate England. They actually said they wanted to be ahead of England, allegedly, and they are ahead of England. So my first question is, yes, that's good. You're ahead of England as you planned, but England aren't the problem, are they? It's actually Indonesia you've got to chase.
Le problème, c'est pas l'Angleterre, c'est l'Indonésie qu'on doit rattraper. Donc comment tu fais ça? Comment tu gères?
Still 2 seasons. Il reste 2 saisons. Not finished. The season is not finished. 2 seasons left. And we can win the Champions League.
There we go. So the aim is very much to win in Europe, and his assistant manager's pretty happy about that one in the crowd, I can see. Okay,
My friend.
next.
I know you love Joel. You love Joel.
Who's next? Benji, got a question?
Tom, lovely to see you. Forgot you were here at some points because Jack does dominate. Has he let you get involved today? Yesterday he called you a clown. So how's today been?
Well, look, I think the media here are trying to drum up a story that's just false. You know, it's fake news, essentially. Jack and I go back a long way. We know each other very well. We work together really well. You know, I think one advantage we have is that we will work together better than everyone else. You know, I think a lot of these are the managers that are coming together for the first time. The assistant is going to get a bit angsty. They're going to want to take control a little bit. Whereas Jack and I are we know our roles, we know what we're doing, we're following a structure, we're following a plan, and we're gonna win.
Did Jack write that for you, or is that your answer?
My own words.
Okay, lovely. Good.
I'll jump in here, Tom, because I think these fake news is out of order, you're right. So I'm going to keep it just to facts. You're sitting fourth, and you said that you work better together than anyone else. Well, there's 3 people that work better together than you, isn't there?
Well, look, I think you look at the reality of it, it's all fine margins. You know, we lost the cup final on a penalty shootout when it gets down to the 7th, 8th penalty, right? So that's unlucky. Porto, we lost in the cup there. That's the only game this season we didn't score in. It's just unfortunate. To be quite frank, we were shafted in the Europa League in terms of the draws. Liverpool in the group stage, we managed to get ahead of them in the group stage. We're drawn against them again in the round of 16, and that was just a little bit too much. It was a 7-6 loss in aggregate. It's a season of fine margins. If we'd just been slightly luckier in other instances, we'd be right up there at the top of the table. We built a team over the summer to compete next season to win the Champions League. That's what we're going to do, and tomorrow we're up number 1.
Am I to take from that you're actually alleging some sort of fix in the draw to the officials? That will come with a fine. If you
No, we're not alleging that the draw's been fixed. We're just saying we've been very unlucky in it. You know, when it comes to the draws that other teams have had, it's been much simpler for them.
Sure. Okay. Zealand.
This question's for India. You won the league in the first season with Sporting without a summer transfer window, and you also won a cup, and you're in dead last. Do you feel like you're getting a little screwed here with how good your group is?
So when today started, we went unbeaten for quite a while. We were pretty happy. We were thinking that okay, by the end of the day we should be much happier, but it's not the way that it's turned out. I guess winning the league is nothing for Sporting. I mean, it's a club that has huge history. We should have done better. We should have done much better in the cup as well. I don't know how we ended up losing on pens against Rio. Our goalkeeper just forgot how to make saves during the penalty shootout, and we had a weird stretch where our strikers Gyökeres got injured. Our strikers just forgot how to score. So, I mean, I feel, in Tom's words, I feel a bit shafted.
Lots of forgetting going on at your club. I think you can to get them in training, remind them how to score and how to save. It's quite a big part of the game.
I agree. I mean, we will go for a striker for the next season, apart from Gyökeres, someone who knows how to score. And we have replaced our goalkeeper, so things are looking good for tomorrow. So we pick ourselves up and move on.
Sure, big day ahead. Jack's got a question for us.
Yes, another one for Tom. I've seen a certain video circling on social media at the moment about a certain celebration that you and your manager were doing yesterday. He didn't seem to finish off that celebration. Do you have any celebrations planned for if you win this tournament?
I think that's something we want to keep under wraps for now. You know, we want to leave it as a surprise for everyone. But yeah, we are working tirelessly all night to come up with some good celebrations.
Thank you.
Mikhail of Poland, I've got a question for you. First of all, let's go back to that Europa League final against Liverpool. Last minute, How are you feeling about that? Is that a regret of yours not seeing that through?
Yeah, about that final last-minute goal for Liverpool, and that cost us the opportunity to go to extra time and penalties. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. We think about it like sometimes FM gods smile upon you from FM heavens, and sometimes they look the other way, and this time they look the other way.
That's a nice way of saying shafted, guys. I've got another question for you. Obviously, a really good season. I know you're sitting in second right now, but still a very strong season. You didn't make any signings, and I think that in one side, that's really impressive to have such a strong season. But do you maybe regret not bringing one or two players in? Could that have got you to the quadruple that Indonesia, of course, won?
Look, I don't want to single out any performances or players. We are a team, and we act as a team. And about signings, yeah, I think our manager is working very hard with the scouting and recruiting department. And this season, you're going to see some signings.
Okay, we look forward to seeing that. We've got a question there from the community on the fourth row.
Yeah, we got a community question from Ollie Cox on Instagram for Indonesia. As you're at the top of your group, which manager would you say is your favorite manager or your biggest inspiration, and why?
I think our favorite manager is Jurgen Klopp. He is good passion in football, and so we duplicate the formation. I think that's it.
Yeah, using the gegenpress, of course, in the game. Do we have any more questions for our Group C managers before we let them depart? No, I think that's it. So, Group C managers, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck tomorrow. So, lots to talk about there. Obviously, the quadruple. I know, I saw your face when you told me about it earlier. It was just a moment of shock for you.
It's been one of the greatest dramas I've ever seen. I mean, we got in this arena, we've been here all day, but the last hour has been absolutely fantastic. Me and Benji were sort of doing some updates, just doing the round. Obviously, we spoke about France, we spoke about England. They've been the showmen. They've been the people to keep their eye on. We went over to Indonesia. We said, how you doing? Yeah, we've done the quadruple. Cool as you like, casual as you like. One of the biggest achievements we might see at this tournament, and they were so cool, calm and collected. So it makes me think they can do it again.
Yeah, and a word on Poland as well. No transfers. Yeah. Mistake, or I mean, I've got respect for it in the sense of a traditional career, but you only have 3 years here. Have they missed a good use of a window there?
Yeah, I think there's so many players on options as well to do that. I think France have done the same. And then when you look at the league table where we're at, I think you'd say that it has to be because that people have bought the right players at the right time. And when people are doing the quadruple, buying players, you have to say it's a big, massive mistake.
Talking about statistics here, so that fourth name there, Taufik, that is the Indonesia manager. The most goals scored, only one more than Poland, but also the least conceded. So it's not just about the fact they're winning trophies, they're dominating games across the board, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know, we want people to be entertaining, we want people to show their personalities, but at the end of the day, results matter. I think we were looking at the English booth earlier, they were dropping Ronaldo celebrations at the start of the day, and then I think they start to realise there's £100,000 across the board on the line, and everything starts to be a bit more emotional. We went in there later, me and Benji, and there was no celebrations being dropped then. It was like, all right, lads, see you later.
Yeah, because obviously we heard from Jack yesterday. He sent his assistant today, Tom. Is there a reason we didn't hear from him today? Is he perhaps panicking, perhaps regretting some of the words he said yesterday? I think one of his quotes was asked about final. At the final on Sunday, he said he looks forward to seeing 3 other managers there.
I mean, we do like that, but one of the greatest things I've seen today is Benji just casually walking over, strolling over to see his mate Jack after he thinks he's putting in a great performance, and he's just whispered in his ear, Indonesia, they've done the quadruple. Face drops, everything changes. They're doing transfers that they might not have thought of, and the whole game has just changed on a dime.
Panic stations. Right, soon we're going to hear from our Group D team. So I'm going to hand you over to Chelsea, who is in the Group D area, which is, of course, Dinamo Zagreb.
Thank you, Spencer. Some action here on the Dinamo side. Malaysia won the domestic cup. Switzerland came in second, but gained some money for the transfer market, so that's always good. Peru is officially out of the Champions League. That's never good, but they have gained some victories. But that takes me to my next question.
Go on.
They always walk in looking so nice. Suit and tie, as you English would say, so nice. Mm-hmm. What would you pick, tracksuit coach or suit and tie?
I've started to have to really consider the way that I dress, because the Peruvians have been doing it right. They look very smart. They come in, they command the squad. They've got the respect of big players like Petkovic, who scored A lot of goals in this group.
You hit it on the nail. Smart.
Mm.
Are they really as smart as they look?
Well, I'd say so. I'd say so. I would say so. I'm backing them. I'm going to start to wear a suit when I play Football Manager at home, so it's going to be a different wardrobe for me.
Dave, let's get more into the tactical side of things. What formation has worked for this group?
So this one's really interesting. It's away from the kind of 4-2-3-1s or the 4-3-3s that we've been seeing. We're actually seeing narrow formations do really, really well. Speak a lot about Malaysia because they have absolutely destroyed the Croatian league. They're playing a narrow 4-3-3, 3 strikers. Then you've got England that have done very well as well. They're playing a narrow 4-2-3-1, 3 attacking midfielders. So it's a little bit different. You've got Dinamo that are so dominant, so more players in the penalty area. It seems to work really well.
So what you're saying is crash the middle, a lot of possession, technical players, because out wide you can't really rely on velocity.
I think so as well, but I think it also suits the Dinamo squad. If you look at the squad and the makeup, there's not many wingers. So playing that central way works. And we've got one team that didn't play that way and unfortunately didn't win the league.
What hasn't worked?
So I think a wide 4-3-3 has been a problem for Switzerland, who came second. But it was a team that, I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of. A relegation team in Croatia called HNK Gorica. Apparently that's the pronunciation. They won the league playing a 4-4-2, back to a classic British style. That was a massive surprise.
That was a massive surprise, but sometimes those things happen. These players have been playing for 9 hours. Have you played for 9 hours before?
I haven't, no. I usually take breaks, do some stretching, get myself remotivated to get back in there. You know, this is obviously after a few defeats.
How have you seen the energy around the room?
It's been good. I think a big shout out to Aaron. Big energy in the press conference yesterday. Energy behind the stream, behind the computer. And I feel like that's going to be a really important thing because, like you said, 9 hours is a long time to play. Keeping yourself up, keeping your assistant manager up is going to be a big, big thing going into the next few days.
All right, so quickly, before we throw it back to Spence, who do you think is going to take it on the Dinamo side?
This is a hard one.
Peru, because they look smart?
I'm going to have to go with it. With the suit, it's going to be Peru. Now, I think Malaysia may take it this one. They've looked really, really good, really compact, really aggressive, loads of goals, big win rate.
Well, all right, so you said it. They have to play more in the middle, more technical, but we'll hear a little bit more about that over there with Spencer.
Thank you, Chelsea. Now, these are the, as it stands, table, shall we say. They're still to be updated, we believe, so a bit more points to unpack here. But in terms of the challenge, Will, Dinamo Zagreb, what sort of challenge does it throw up for these countries?
Well, again, it's another dominant team. They're expected to win their league, and a lot of the managers have done that. I think there's only one of the teams has not won the division so far, so those expectations on them, they've not delivered, and that's going to be a big thing. We talk about the board rating as well, tying into that, so those things have to be looked at. But we've seen some great stuff today. Aaron's been very loud, but then a bit more meek as it's gone across the day because things haven't gone right for him. So there's some big stuff, especially in Europe when you're getting those hard draws. It's really changing the competition just with those moments.
I think one of the interesting things in this particular save, maybe in some of the others as well, but is the release clause that a lot of players, namely Petkovic, who's a big player for all these teams, can be activated by other teams and you can lose these players. Obviously, future signings, they can make sure they don't have them, although some players might always insist on it, coming to a league such as a Croatian league. But how do you plan for that? How do you prepare for it? Knowing when you go into a club, certain players could be bought for not a lot of money. I think it's like 2 billion.
Yeah, well, that's what also has been tying into it as well, getting these final places, like getting into Europe for next season. So I think the Swiss finished second, so they've got to look at, but they've got a lot of money to spend. But then it's, can you get into Europe? I think one of the only teams to get into the Champions League was one of the teams there to get into the Champions League. So that makes such a big difference when it comes to finances.
Yeah, I was speaking to Mata, who's obviously our representative from Dinamo Zagreb, who's here, and he's really taking interest in it. He's going around the booths, talking to the guys. Such an amazing thing to be managing a team and having someone that works at the team on your shoulder. And I said to him after the Swiss finished second, I said, look, what would that mean in real life? And he said, well, that would be a problem for the manager. You've got to win the league. But it's not so much about winning the league, it's about getting that Champions League spot, as you mentioned. That's the only way to get it. So maybe some questions for the Swiss there regarding that. Let's welcome our managers in now. So our managers and assistant managers from Group D are going to join us. Please, into the stage. We've got Aaron, of course, England manager. Looking a little bit smarter today. Still drippy, though. Still drippy. We've got our Swiss guys. We've got Yannick. We've got Ivaras from Lithuania, of course. We have JD from Peru. And we have our Malaysian assistant manager as well. Lots of questions to ask for these guys. Who would like to go first here? Benji's ready.
Aaron, Good to see you again.
Nice.
Hoping you're going to come out your shell at some point this weekend. I'm only joking. You're getting very, very loud today. Is that to put the other 4 managers off, or is that just you enjoying yourself?
That's me enjoying myself all the time, loud. The players have got to hear me as well. That's the most important thing. It's not for you guys. It's for the players out on the pitch. Got to show some encouragement for the guys.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Is some of it for the other managers as well? Are you trying to get in there when you make the noise? Are you trying to let them know you've had a big win? Are you trying to get in their head a little bit?
Well, Mr. Spencer, no, not at all, at all. But I've got a little fact check because yesterday you did say that I said I wanted to sell my left back, and that wasn't the case.
Okay,
So me and the boys, we went back and we watched the media conference, and it's not what we said. The left back, he done really well. He was upset, by the way, by what you said. It's not cool.
Well, I think a lot of people were talking about left back. I might have thrown you in with
there
the
was
group,
one.
maybe.
That's the issue. There's one, and what I said is we want to improve that area. We want to add strength and depth into that area.
Okay.
At that point, he already scored 5 assists, 2 goals, and 7 appearances at that time of the comment. We was very happy with his performances, but we did have to strengthen in that area, and that's what we did.
So you have brought someone in?
Yes.
Okay, so that was all. You're not going to sell him, but you're going to get him some competition.
Well, we can't sell him because he's a loanee.
Okay, so you're happy with him generally? You're going to re-sign him on another loan?
Not at all.
Okay, wow. I was going to issue a retraction, but no, I'm going to let it stand now. Who's got another question for these guys? Yes, Kev.
This was for Switzerland. We caught up a little bit earlier today, and I think I mentioned at the time that you were quite a long way behind your rivals in terms of where you were in the season at that point. You'd played quite slowly, and following on from that point, you then didn't sign anyone in January, and obviously then went on to not qualify for the Champions League. How much of that was because you had to rush the second half of the season because of time lost in the first half?
I think it's the correct. How can I say this? We made the right way to don't poke the player because we had a good team, and yes.
Next question. Yes, Will.
Question to Lithuania. I mean, you've been one of the most entertaining of the tournament, but when we've come into the booth to chat to you, instead of talking about tactics and players, a lot of it's been talking about where's the best bar, where's the best nightclub.
Yeah.
Are you taking this competition seriously, or are you looking for a good night out?
We are kind of doing it both ways. We are here just to have fun, and it's going great right now, so I don't think it's a problem, you know?
Do you think it's a bit disrespectful to your other managers?
No, absolutely not.
Will they be coming on the night out with you?
Oh, obviously.
Okay, Dave's got a question for us, I believe.
Yeah, first and foremost, Lithuania, call me. We'll go our way to a few beers. The question to Malaysia, we've seen a narrow formation used in the tournament. What are the advantage of this in Croatia?
We like to overload the players in the middle, and we have a good player for that. So why not?
Aaron of England, I've got a question for you. Surprisingly, you were quite annoyed about something earlier. It was about the extra 15 minutes that was given. Can you talk about that and why that annoys you, really?
Because I felt that one of the challenges was to complete a season in 3 hours, and we planned for those 3 hours pretty seriously. We planned for those 3 hours, and we felt it was an advantage for us that we got our seasons done earlier on. We didn't rush it, by the way. We done really well in our season, but that was sort of the advantage, and we was looking forward into seeing how other players will adapt to that 3 hour window. To increase it, I feel is a bit cheeky.
And have you got any messaging for the powers that be about that?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Next question, please. Yes, please, Jack.
Another question for Malaysia. I was lucky enough to see you lift the trophy earlier, and I have a question. Will you be joining Lithuania on a night out tonight to celebrate?
We're still not celebrating because we come here to win. So wait until the final day. That's the time we will finally celebrate properly. Yeah.
Good answer.
Any further questions, guys? Yes, please, Zealand.
This question's for Peru. At any point, did you get bored in the second half of the season? Because once you were out of the Champions League, it was just kind of blazing through a normal Croatian season. How did you keep the energy up?
Thanks for the question. Well, we were trying to break records in the second half of the season. We won 18 straight league games. We finished, I think we're going to start the season with 9 straight wins, now 10 with the first one of the next season. We scored a lot of goals, 112, 95 points. I think the fans are happy. The group of the Champions League was pretty tough, but I think we did still a good job.
Hi, Varas, Lithuania. I've got a question for you. You signed a player, one of your big players, second game in, gets injured for 9 months. People are saying you might have not done the proper medical. Did you research this transfer properly? Do you regret it now?
No, just because he's going to be this season ready to go, and previous season was great. I think we've done everything, even though he was absent for injury. But he's going to start playing in like a couple of weeks, and everything's built very good.
I think a lot of managers here would have lost Petkovic this season. A lot of English clubs coming in. I think in one save he went to West Ham, one save he went to Chelsea, one save he went to Fulham. I think he might have gone to Qatar potentially in one another save as well. How frustrating is it, firstly for you, Alvaras, when a key player is taken on a release clause situation?
The timing was really bad, but we found the perfect replacement for him. So we are not really nervous or distracted or upset about that.
In future transfers, will you look to make sure there's no release clauses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Potential.
We'll see. Benji, please.
One more for Aaron. Obviously, online, RDF tactics, but I came round, I saw you and Matt. Your net spend is higher than anybody else's. You're gonna, if it carries on like this, it'll be RDF transfer budget. Is that something you might consider changing?
We are talking about the 5 million here. But like you said, Petkovic, he went. For us, it was a decent timing, to be fair. We was winning games, and it felt like at that point we was sort of unstoppable. And that 2.9 million helped us in buying the next best thing in Croatia. So we bought in Roko Simic from Red Bull Salzburg.
So is it about tactics or is it about money?
It's about tactics, right? Because if we're using an advanced forward, we need pace, we need work rate, we need aggression. Petkovic had finishing, but he didn't have the mentals or the physicals to do the job that we want to do perfectly.
Okay.
I've got a question. Obviously, we heard from Mata, actually, that the Champions League is such an important part, qualifying for it, for Dinamo Zagreb. Who here is prepared to go on the record and say how far they think they can take the team in that competition? Aaron, for example, where do you think you can realistically get them?
Yesterday, I said the final.
Today?
The final.
You're going to do it next year?
We'll see in the final.
It's a promise to the fans.
We will see in the final.
Okay. Ivaras, where do the Champions League... Where is it in your priorities?
Well, if you can make quarterfinals of Champions League, you can pretty much win it, basically. And I think it's probable. It's not impossible to win Champions League with Dynamo in 3 seasons. It's not probable, but I think we can do it. Yeah, it's possible.
Sorry,
it's possible. Yeah.
Okay, Yannick, how do your fixtures, your formation, your tactics change when you go from playing in a league that you're very dominant in to then playing in a European competition where you're going to be the underdogs, at least in the latter stages of the competition? Do you change your approach tactically?
Yes, we changed every match the tactics and the strategy. Yes.
And it's been working for you, or are you going to continue to do that next season?
Yes, but we made a new tactic for the next season because we doesn't won the title.
Okay. JD, how far do you think you can take this club in the European competition?
Well, I have no idea how the new Champions League works, so I don't know. We're going to try to win every game, and let's see where do we end up.
Some research tonight, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously for Malaysia, the question I'd like to ask you is, what do you prefer? The idea of as deep into the Champions League as you can go, or perhaps even getting that third place in the group stage, which would have been an option this year, and moving into a Europa League run, you could potentially have more chance of winning?
It's an open secret now. For this first season, we make a calculation that we will have more points if we go in the Europa Leagues. But for next season, there's someone who said he will be in final. If we didn't go in final, we will lose. So we will do the same.
Okay.
For sure.
Good stuff. Any more questions?
Wait, what?
I want to win also, not you only.
All I'm going to say is that we've got integrity and we never plan to throw games. If we want to win this tournament, we want to be known as the best Football Manager player. For me, if you're losing games on purpose...
And listen, we talked in the last group about ways you can maybe play the rules in a clever way with its transfer, instalments, etc. Are you basically saying you're not prepared to do that? In the transfer market, I think you are, aren't you?
Not really, no.
Because you're not going to do 9 years.
Like Rocco Simic, we spent 7 million up front. That is a lot of money. Now, we're hearing other scandalous deals going on around, but no, not really, no.
Why, but are you being short-sighted in that? Do you not want to be the world champion more than anything?
Well, I'm not saying we ain't using instalments. Instalments is a part of football, right?
Okay.
But we ain't stretching it over 9 years. And
why not?
Because I'm not here for 9 years. I don't want to ruin the club's future.
Okay, but it could hold you back, no? Other managers are doing
It's not going to hold Dynamo back. I'm here for Dynamo.
Okay. Good stuff. I'd like to ask you one more question, Aaron, actually.
Mm-hmm.
If you win this group, you're going to go up against other managers in a draft. You're not going to go up against any of these guys, because only one of you can get out. But if you did go against these guys, if your individual Dynamo squads went against each other, how would that go down?
I think that would be pretty exciting, if I'm honest. Speaking like we're friendly guys as well. We speak a lot upstairs, so we do talk about our squads, but we're quite excited. We are Football Manager players. We like to talk about our squad, so hearing some of the players that some people were looking at, what we was looking at as well, it would actually be nice to see our team up against some of these Dynamo squads as well. I think it would be pretty exciting.
Would you win?
We have a good chance.
Malaysia, what's it like having someone like Aaron? He's a big character in your group. Is it make it harder at times or more enjoyable?
Enjoyable. I enjoyed every moment of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mutual respect is great. Have we got any more questions? If we do, on the second row, please. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, a community question for Peru. Yesterday, you got asked by Lucas Chagas on Instagram if you feel any extra pressure as you are the only South American representative. Now that you're at the top of the table, do you feel any more extra pressure now?
Oh, I didn't know we're top of the table. That's good. We don't have extra pressure. We're very happy about the support of South America. We've had a lot of Argentinian friends in the chat supporting us. So now we ask all the other countries to support us in this tournament.
Thank you.
William Brazier has a question.
Question to Switzerland. Obviously, you were one of the only teams not to win the league, but you have got a lot of money to spend. Is that another sort of dark arts tactic, or was this something you've just not performed well at?
We had no luck in the league. They goes up and down. Yeah, I hope in the next season it will be better to go to the top of the league to win the title. Yes.
Aaron, just a question to you. What do you make of like a team not winning the league in Croatia?
Oh, it's difficult, learning about the history of Dynamo is difficult, but there's two more seasons. You can turn it around and you never know what's going to happen. Football's football, so good luck to him and good luck to the rest of us as well.
Too diplomatic.
We've got one more question here. It's the perfect one to end on. It's from the man who actually works at Dinamo Zagreb, Mata. If you'd like to stand up and ask your question, please, sir.
Because you also already asked about the Champions League and everything, which is very important for Dinamo, because we yesterday get into the Champions League for this season, and I hope you two guys go for the next season besides Switzerland. So one question about for Peru, because you are stick to Kulenovic as a center forward, because all of you others you replace Petkovic with somebody of your choice, which is great. But how are you satisfied with Kulenovic this season now?
We are so happy with El Cabezón Kulenovic. He has scored 32 goals this season. He started scoring goals as a substitute in the first half of the season. When Petkovic left, he's fired away a lot of goals. So he and also Choca, they both are very good for us.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much to all of our Group D managers. Guys, what did you make of that one?
Not as much bravado from Aaron. I think everything seems, and that goes for all the managers, everything seems to settle down a little bit. There's not as much confidence as we saw yesterday, where people were giving it the big one, and we saw a little bit of that today as well.
Kev, anything stand out for you?
I mean, You mentioned Aaron. I didn't notice he was there. Me and Aaron shared a lovely dance earlier today. I hope we get to repeat that again at some point in the tournament as well. But yeah, it's been a very interesting group because, like we said yesterday, it's another one of those where you do have to win the league every year, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of difference that Champions League qualification money can potentially make when you compare it to the team that didn't get into it this year. It's going to have ramifications going forward as well, not just for the points this season.
I was going to say, we talk about the sack race.
Yeah.
You don't win the league twice for Dinamo. That could be it. Like, once you get away with one,
Do you think?
You might not go away with two.
They obviously have so far, but we mentioned that Matter actually mentioned that that's the sort of pressure that anyone that is a manager at Dinamo is going to be under. You need to be winning the league. You need to get that income. But what's more important, arguably, in your opinion, Kev? Is it the trophies, the silverware, or is it the financial, remuneration that comes with qualification for the Champions League?
I mean, in terms of this competition, they need to be winning the trophies. That's where they get the points from. There's no points earned for bank balance. So it's in the short-term trophies, but in order to keep the club sustainable long-term and keep the new players coming in, they need the money to be able to fund them, or else they're not only going to be in a situation where they can't bring in players that they might need to get them there next time, they might have to sell players they ordinarily would have been able to keep.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, the fact that they did finish second, they're obviously looking at the league table, as well as having the pressure from the board, they're having the pressure of the points. We will get you, obviously, FIFA.gg is the place to go for updated league tables. That one hasn't got all the points collected just there yet. We have an idea of how everyone's doing, don't we?
Yeah, again, you can see it behind you. You've seen the graphic. You can sort of add 50 points to everyone's tally and then 40 to the Swiss one, and that gives you a pretty good idea of where we're at. But again, this is now going to be interesting to see if they change the way they played the game today, tomorrow. If you played a little bit too slow, do they have to speed it up? And again, maybe they can consider, we've got a little bit more time, we can take our time with things a little bit more. Tomorrow will look very different to today, I think.
Yeah, it's the first full day. So tonight they're going to be thinking about what's happened. They're going to be thinking about what they need to change, not just transfers. A lot of it's tactics. They've been hitting the pillow tonight. Tactics, tactics, tactics. Well, let's learn a bit more about tactics.
In Football Manager, your tactics are everything. They're the difference between victory and defeat, the key to unlocking your team's potential and the ultimate test of your managerial skills. But what's your approach? Do you set up tactics to suit your players, or do you mold your squad to fit your philosophy? Every decision matters. Your formation, mentality, attacking or defensive, the style of passing, and tempo all play a crucial role in how your team performs on the pitch. Remember, as a manager, you can't control a player's actions directly. What you can control is how you instruct them to play. Get your tactics right, and you'll watch your team execute your vision to perfection. Get them wrong, and you'll face the consequences.
Consequences indeed. Tomorrow we've got brand new action happening again. Obviously 9 a.m. the streams will start. We'll be back at the end of the day for another press conference. Will we hear from 20 managers, or maybe there'll be less than 20? Maybe there'll be a sacking. It could happen. I think the pressure is going to be felt by these guys, and some changes definitely need to happen. We look forward to seeing you guys back tomorrow. FIFA.gg and FIFA E on socials if you want to keep abreast of everything that's happening here in Liverpool. We'll see you tomorrow.